John, sometimes it feels like liberals and celebrities, Hollywood elites are just out of touch with reality.
No, a lot of the time. A lot of the time.
Here's an example of it. Yesterday, Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban tweeted this, quote, "For those considering donations to reps or Dems, referring to Republicans or Democrats in Georgia, Senate runoff, can you please reconsider and donate that money to your local food banks and organizations that can help those without food or shelter? Let's put Americans in need above politics," end quote. Well, singer John Legend had a thing or two to say about that. He replied with this: "I get that politics is annoying and contentious, but the bottom line is that the Senate flipping would be far more impactful than a food bank donation. We need massive stimulus and aid to individuals and small businesses. Government needs to do this. Charity isn't sufficient," end quote. Okay, so he's pretty much saying give to Democrats rather than charity here. Crazy. Joining us to discuss is healthcare analyst and quiz master Seth Denson. Seth, great to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Always good to be with you. Happy Friday.
All right, this kills me here because ultimately you have someone that is saying just this: all right, it is more important to give to these Democrats, don't give to Republicans, no, than charity. That's not going to help people. Come on.
Yeah, I think that most Americans can balance empathy and a desire to do good with others with the electoral process. And whether we like it or not, money is involved in it. I can get that. But kudos to Mark Cuban. Here's a man that has billions of dollars and says timeout. And by the way, he's not been uncritical of the election cycle, who's saying, maybe let's not go spend $100 million in an election when in reality we have people that need money and they need help. So maybe give to the food bank. So shame on John Legend for that comment.
Seth, here's the thing. I've got several problems with this whole thing. Number one, his tweet, John Legend's tweet says politics is annoying and contentious. How is it annoying and contentious? I mean, look, I get that for some people, but that I actually think that this is what is patriotic. Going out there, engaging in the political system and trying to figure out what candidate you support, fighting for them, fighting for policies that you believe in. It's not annoying to me, and it's not annoying to so many people right now who actually feel like they're fighting for things that they believe in to make the country great, and then calling it contentious. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what's good about it. You go out there, you have a clash of ideas. We live in a free democracy where you can vote for the person you want. There are a lot of countries that you couldn't have an annoying and contentious, as he put it, because they tell you who to vote for, or they are a dictatorship, or are a monarchy. But this idea of calling it that in the first place, that's my first problem. Second of all, I don't need a bunch of billionaires telling me where to spend my money. I am glad to help people first and foremost, but don't tell me, wait, why can't they just say, hey, please help people this holiday season or as it gets colder, whatever. But these guys make a ton of money to do this. Now, I know we're being joined by Alicia Krause as well. We had a little problems, which I do believe, by the way, talk about voter fraud. The quiz is next. I believe Seth Denson, in his quest to win 3, was screwing with Alicia's ISP. So I will be checking. I'm sending IT tech people from Newsmax to your home because I believe Denson will do anything to win. Anyway, back to my rant.
Talk about contentious.
I know. But see, John Legend, that's what's contentious and annoying. Not voting, not politics, but this quiz is coming up. But Seth, I want you to weigh in first because I think that there's so many things wrong with it.
Well, I think that there are things wrong with it. And here's the reality. Democrats have been annoyed and contentious on their own part for the last 4 years. And I think that they just don't know how to let that go. And John Legend has been quick to the Twitter. Let's be real. Nancy Pelosi is who's held up aid. The Senate has been trying to work with Nancy Pelosi. We've been trying to come to the same table to get aid out to the American people. So how about let's call a spade, and let's get to the table and work together. That's what's American. That's what's patriotic.
Yeah, exactly. Lisa, good to see you. Switching topics just a little bit. Christiane Amanpour recently comparing President Trump.
It's like the new left talking point.
It really is a new left talking point to Hitler. I want to play sound that for our audience. Take a listen.
82 years ago, Kristallnacht happened. It was the Nazis' warning shot across the bow of our human civilization that led to genocide against a whole identity, and in that tower of burning books, it led to an attack on fact, knowledge, history, and truth. After 4 years of a modern-day assault on those same values by Donald Trump, the Biden-Harris team pledges a return to norms, including the truth, while the great brooding figure of his defeated opponent rages, conducting purges of perceived enemies and preventing a transition.
You know what the sad thing about this is? And Steve Krakauer, a lot. There are a lot of sad things to break down here, but Steve Krakauer, our friend of the show, he pointed this out. This isn't just Christiane Amanpour. This is writers, producers, that this had to get passed. Yeah. So as a network, they should be shamed. CNN should be ashamed of these kind of comments. You know, Jim Clyburn also compared Trump to Hitler this week. You know, this just seems to be like what they want to run with here, Alicia.
I mean, listen, though, they've been comparing Republicans to Hitler since, George W. Bush. I moved to New York City the weekend of the 2004 RNC, and I remember hundreds of thousands of people burning American flags and effigies of George W. Bush while calling him a warmonger, baby murderer, ironically, while being pro-abortion, and Hitler. So this talking point is tired, it is old, and it's way overused, and also very historically inaccurate. And I'm quite shocked. Christiane Amanpour has always been on the left, but I'm quite shocked that somebody with her history of rich Middle Eastern descent. I still remember a report that she did early in the Afghanistan war, talking about like that's where her family had escaped from, would be able to, with a straight face, compare any leader of the free world to any evil dictator like a Hitler.
Yeah, this is, again, remember, the left wants unity. It's amazing the stuff they say. Seth, I want to show you, Lindsay and I talked about Muriel Bowser, the D.C. mayor, who put all these restrictions in D.C. because of COVID and then flew up and went to Biden's campaign event calling it essential business. Well, the Chicago mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is asking residents to cancel Thanksgiving plans and stay home. She went to a Biden rally as well. And yet, it's amazing the level to which the hypocrisy exists with these folks who tell everyone, you can't go to church, you can't do anything, but we're going to go to rallies, we're going to do all this stuff and call it essential.
Classic do as I say, not as I do. Listen, Lori Lightfoot, this is the same person that there's an area of Chicago called Fort Lori because she said, protesting is great, just don't do it on my street. So she set the police department up to block her street so that people couldn't go down there and protest. This is hypocrisy at its best. Whitmer, Newsom, Lightfoot, this is right out of the playbook of the left. And again, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, and it just seems to be continuous. Like even Ilhan Omar this week, we showed that her paying her husband's firm over $2 million. Alicia, only about 30 seconds left. But I am sick of this virtual signaling, and we see every time that exactly what Seth is saying. It is do as I say, not as I do.
And I have to say, though, I think that this is an area in which we saw in those down ballot races, Republicans and conservatives have an opportunity to win, because even my most liberal friends here in Los Angeles are actually finally paying attention to things like the propositions on the ballot and city council people and how awful Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom are. And I hope that they become more aware and vote the bums out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys are going to be right back after the break for the company quiz. So stick around for that. Sean, in the meantime, I just want to give a little shout out to Newsmax app, which is the top 10 most downloaded apps right now. So make sure to download that to get some updates. And
it's pretty cool. You can watch TV on the go, like no
other
network.
Newsmax
Yeah, the cool part is you don't need a cable subscription. Hopefully you do have one, but if you don't, you're the only network you can actually watch just on your smartphone or on the internet or OTT.
You're watching Spicer and Company right now.
By the way, as Lindsay said, the quiz is coming right back. If you haven't been here before, if you're new, you are not going to want to miss it. The company quiz. It's a keeper, man. See you next time. All right, it's Friday the 13th, and you know what we do on Fridays. If you're not new, or if you are new, rather, it's time for the company quiz. And I know we got a ton of new viewers, so here's how it works. I take stories making headlines in the news and ask related trivia questions. Here to play is reigning champion, healthcare analyst Seth Denson, and conservative commentator Alicia Krause. And Lindsay, of course, is going to be playing along, trying to prevent Seth from going 3 in a row and getting the coveted 3 times in a row prize. Seth, I think we have some footage of you getting ready for this. Is that right?
This
Come on,
week,
man.
actually, yeah.
That's
Even Wheel of Fortune.
I don't know what that letter is.
Yeah. Why would you do that? You already had an E. If you had gotten the E, it's clearly you're not ready.
He's not even on the quiz
I'll
yet.
take it up with
right.
Pat and Anna.
All right, let's jump in. Question 1. We talked about redistricting this week, and according to the Washington Post, Maryland's 3rd district is one of the most gerrymandered districts in the country. They've even given it a name, a nickname rather. What is it? It's called the Runner, the Flying Dragon, the Praying Mantis, or D, the Dancing Dog. Do we have a picture of that congressional district, by the way? I thought we did. You got to see this thing. It is Yeah, well, that would probably give it away, too. So I can't do that. I'd give it away. All right, let's get those letters up, guys. Let's get them up. Seth Denson out to an early lead. That's right. C, Seth. It is. It's the praying mantis. There it is right there. Yeah, you can see that thing. It is a very highly... The other gerrymandered districts are Texas's 35th. That's called the Upside Down Elephant, and Pennsylvania's 7th Congressional District, named the Goofy Kicking Donald Duck District. We'll have to look into that one later. Anyway. All right, question 2. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy urged TV networks not to declare a victory in the presidential election until every poll has closed. Congressman McCarthy is not to be confused with the great actor of the same name. Actor Kevin McCarthy is perhaps known for playing the lead in what classic horror science fiction movie? A, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. B, War of the Worlds. C, The Thing. Or D, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Let's get those letters up there, you movie buffs. I don't even know who would be a movie buff among these three.
I don't know.
And it is Seth Denson and a very colorful A from Alicia Krause, which looks like it got some input from the kids. That's right. The 1956 film told the story of a psychiatrist who starts to believe that his patients are being replaced by perfect, emotionless imposters. Not to give too much of the plot away, but the film introduced the concept of pod people. Alicia, I will compliment you on that A, though.
Thank
that
you.
was very well
The
done.
girls did make all of these. It was their homeschooling art project today.
Oh, I love this. Spicer and Company, part of the school curriculum. All right, question 3. We spoke to retired Navy Captain Bob Carey on Veterans Day this week. Veterans Day originally began as Armistice Day. Which former U.S. president signed the proclamation commemorating the end of fighting in World War I, known as Armistice Day? A, Woodrow Wilson. B, Hubert Hoover. C, Calvin Coolidge. Or D, Theodore Roosevelt? Let's get those letters up again, folks. See them.
I should know this. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
All right, pick a letter. Let's get them up. And we've got an A, a B, and a B, and the answer is A.
Oh,
Seth
man,
Denson.
Seth,
That's right.
pushing it.
Out to the 3-1 lead. That's right. President Wilson signed the proclamation commemorating the end of fighting in World War I, known as Armistice Day. Congress subsequently passed a resolution on June 4th, 1926, urging all state governors to observe the new holiday. There we go. Question 4. Pfizer announced this week that they have created a COVID-19 vaccine, which is 90% effective. Of course, the media isn't mentioning that it all happened under President Trump's administration. One former U.S. president, though, fell ill with diphtheria, malaria, and smallpox, all diseases that are now preventable with vaccines. Which president was it? A, Abraham Lincoln. B, Andrew Jackson. C, John Adams. Or D, George Washington? Get those up there. Come on, Alicia. Get a kid. All right. We got a C, a beautiful C, and a D. And Seth Denson's got to be.
Oh my
this is
God.
why you cut your feed, because that's
Healthcare
right.
analyst.
That's right. The first president witnessed more epidemics of infectious disease than any other president, including the yellow fever epidemic of 1793. In his teenage years, Washington was often sick and fell ill with diphtheria, malaria, smallpox, all before the age of 20. Gosh.
There's a great Disney movie when I was a kid that talked about all this stuff. You guys
Wow.
ever
Do
watch
I
it?
need
See, there you go.
Oh,
Work that into your curriculum, Alicia. More movies.
Do I get a bonus though if I point out that Washington also helped win the Revolutionary War because he gave smallpox vaccines to the Continental soldiers?
This is what
Very
I think
true.
you
should
did.
True
get a
We
statement.
learned so
bonus
much
for
on
that.
the show.
True statement.
All right. Yeah, it's an educational show. Twitter, question 5. Twitter's been targeting many tweets this week, flagging everyone from President Trump to the Lincoln Project. With so many users, it's no surprise that Twitter's logo, a little blue bird, is an instant recognizable logo. The current logo, though, is simply called the Twitter bird. But until 2012, what did Twitter call their bird? A, Billy, B, Curly, C, Larry, or D, Daryl? All right, let's get those up. All right, see how tech savvy you are. Get the letters up. We got 2 C's and an A. And the 2 C people are right. That is crazy. Seth Denson is on some kind of crazy roll. That's right. You see the picture of Larry Bird up there. Twitter founder and Massachusetts native Biz Stone helped name their logo Larry the Bird after basketball great, the Boston Celtic man himself, Larry Bird. All right. This is getting a little weird because Seth Denson is out to a lead that I have never seen before in the history of the company quiz.
Rigged.
Trying to make you look
I
good,
know. That's
Seth.
why you cut your internet. It's pretty obvious. He was Googling while it happened.
Rigged.
He didn't even get Vanna White right in this whole thing. Anyway, all right, question 6. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio joined us this week. Jordan is the ranking member of both the Judiciary and the House Oversight Committee. But did you know that in high school he was an amazing athlete who won state championships 4 years in a row? In what sport did Congressman Jordan win 4 state championships? A, basketball, B, wrestling, C, baseball, D, track. I feel like if you don't get this one, and Seth Denson does not get this right. That's right. Lindsay gets it. But Seth, I mean, God, President Trump talks about it all the time. That's right. His high school record was 156 wins and only 1 loss at the University of Wisconsin. Jordan was a 2-time NCAA Division I wrestling champ. All right, question 7. We head into this with Seth Denson with a pretty commanding lead. But since Election Day, we've celebrated the many Republican women flipping seats and taking office this year. The first woman to hold federal office in the United States was Jeanette Rankin, who first served as a Republican in the House of Representatives starting in 1917. What state did Congressman Rankin represent? A, Ohio, B, Wyoming, C, New York, and D, Montana. By the way, when I used to give tours in the Capitol, you'd see the Jeanette Rankin statue there. That's right. All right, get those letters up. Tell me what you think. We've got a D, a C, and a C. All right, that's it. Seth Denson is right. Montana. Rankin served from 1917 to 1919, and then again from 1941 to 1943. That's amazing, wow. Seth Denson. There is definitely going to be a voter fraud investigation of this. I have to say, over the history of this, no one has gone 3 in a row. Everyone has waited patiently for this prize. It is a pillow. It is my pillow. Seth Denson, consider this mailed to you. Sleep tight at night. We'll be right back. Congratulations, Seth Denson.
Seth.
All right. Congratulations, Seth. We'll be right back with our thoughts.